Title of the pod.
Huh?
What's
So
the
the Creators Podcast.
The Creators Podcast?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Okay. That's
I know
dope.
we've shot before, but that was not official. So this is the first time that like seeing you and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Like, what do you do, bro?
Yeah. So I am a online coach that helps car sales professionals. I show them how to generate leads using organic and paid traffic methods. Right. And I've been doing that for, I say 8 months now.
8 months now.
But I've been really running a business, an online business, for the past close to 3 years now.
How did you get into this?
Yeah. Well, it all started after I finished high school, I want to say, right? So in terms of high school, as soon as I finished, so what I did in high school was in Washington, there's a program called Running Start. I know you were aware of this, right?
I did Running Start.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, college is shit. But you know, I did Running Start for 2 years and essentially went to school, and my original plan was to become an engineer.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Okay.
Because it was a plan that my grandparents helped me put together like a long time ago, right?
Okay.
Like when I was like 8. And
so you
since
thought,
no, literally like all the way up until my sophomore, junior year, I was like, okay, dead set, I'm gonna be an engineer. Cause like, you know, they made 6 figures and I was like, cool, that's all I needed to know, right? I was just like, they make good money, okay, I'll be that, right?
Right.
So basically I went to community college for 2 years because it's free with Running Start. I'm like, why wouldn't I, right? Because it's just,
free.
It is free, right? Like,
No-brainer.
It's just like, yeah, it's a no-brainer. And I didn't really like high school that much because like, I wasn't necessarily ever like a nerd or anything that like, you know, I wasn't ever like an outcast by any means, but like, I just didn't fit in with anybody really, just because everyone's like either, I was like in the smart classes, but I wasn't the smart kid in the smart classes, you know? I was like, people would look at me and they'd be like, how did this kid get in here? You know, like that's how it was like, because I was like maybe 2 years ahead in like math. And like my freshman year, I was sitting down with like seniors and stuff in their math class, and they're like, what the heck? Yeah, so I was always like good in school. You know, I never had like bad grades and stuff like that, which is interesting, right? You know, it's just like
for entrepreneurs, like the comments like, oh, I'm bad at.
Yeah, like I'm terrible at school, and I'm like, you know, it just wasn't cut out for me. No, I was pretty decent at school. I got good grades.
It reminds me of Alex or Mosey. Like, he's good at school.
Yeah, no, for sure, bro. Like, I don't think I was ever like, because I tried at school, you know, like I tried at basically everything that I did. I gave it a good shot. So yeah, the reason why I started Running Start was because I didn't fit in at school in terms of like having a good friend group. I always had a good friend group throughout high school.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, this is a good opportunity to like just get ahead, and like going to college sounded like a ton of fun at the time.
Yeah.
Right. So I went to school for 2 years at this community college. And essentially when I got there, like, imagine this, like I'm this young 16-year-old punk, basically, right? And, you know, thinks he's hot shit, goes into these school, like goes to take college classes. And the thing with like college classes is that the counselors and whatnot, they don't give you any good advice, and they don't tell you, okay, here's the crazy shit. Here's the crazy shit, right? So, I get in last second. I sign up for random classes just to start Running Start at the fall quarter, right? I get into like a couple of classes, like I got 2 classes like anthropology and like computer science. Random shit, right? Like so some stuff like you would never think of taking. Like why would you take anthropology and like computer science, right? But it was just for me to start because it was a last second decision. I was like, okay, I actually want to go to college. Because I was like, I can't do another year of like being in high school, right? So I did like my first quarter, and basically my whole first year, I was just taking a bunch of random classes. Like I didn't even know. Like I was like, oh yeah, I should probably take an engineering class. Like it was engineering like 101. Yeah. And I should probably take, you know, calculus, which I flunked twice.
Okay.
Because during that time, like I said, I was kind of a dipshit.
I didn't even take calculus, bro. I just finished pre-calculus.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, it's so fucking hard, and especially in college, bro. Like it was a hard time. But yeah, so the funny thing is, and here is the whole point that I was getting to in the first place, is that my whole first year, I didn't even know you had to take specific classes to get into a major. That's how fucked up it was, bro. That's how fucked up it was. And I didn't know that for the whole first year. So I went to the counselor at the end of the first year.
So your counselor was just like, yeah, just take whatever class.
Yeah, they didn't tell me shit, dude. And I was just like, and then like, I went to the counselor at the end of the first year of me being in Running Startup. I was like, okay, so what classes should I take next year? And they're like, why did you take all these random classes? I was like, what do you mean? And they're like, what are you trying to be? And I'm like, an engineer? Like, dude, you took the wrong fucking classes, dude. And he's like, basically none of these credits apply. Like maybe like 5 or 10 of them. And I was like, fuck, right?
Okay.
So I was like, okay, what's the best thing I could get out of this like scenario? Because like, there's no way. And I realized after my first year, I took an engineering class. I was like, this is bullshit. This fucking sucks. I don't like this shit, right?
Okay.
It was boring. And I think the teacher that I had at the time wasn't even an actual engineer. Like, it's like, what the fuck? I was like, okay. So then I decided, okay, I'm just going to try and get my associate's degree and then I'm going to just move from there, right? But at that time, after the first year, after I went through that bullshit, I was like, yeah, I'm not going to college because there's no way I can afford it after school, right? So I've always been poor, right? Relatively. And so I finished the second year, got my associates, and I was like, all right, I'm going to just find some way to go make money.
Yeah.
And so right out of college/high school, right, I went and got a job at Costco. Right. So I was telling you that I worked here for like the past 2 years, right? Or 2 years ago. It's almost coming up on a year since I quit, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, almost a year. So, it hasn't been a full year yet. Isn't that fucking nuts?
It hasn't been a full year since you quit?
Nope. So like, see that's where I'm like, okay. So yeah, I worked there for the first 3 months and I was like hell-bent on being like, okay, I want to move up at this company. Cause I saw at the top again, like no guidance.
You want to,
Yeah. Like I always wanted to make good money, right? Like the money's always been a main motivator. Just being poor, like I didn't care about what I did. Like it just came down to like, how do I make the money? Right.
Mm-hmm. So
I didn't really care about what vehicle I use. It's just like, how do I get more income? Because that's always been a pain, right?
Yeah.
So when I went there for the first 3 months, I was like, oh, you can move up in a year and make 50 grand a year. And I was like, yes, that's amazing, But it was like, man, a year, that's going to take me some time though, right? So after the first 3 months, I was like, how else can I make money, right? And I was working at the fucking food court at Costco, right? So it's dog shit work, right? Shit work.
We're still fine.
Yeah. So first 3 months go by, and so here's the thing, right? This is how a lot of people, I feel like, are indoctrinated in terms of, like our generation in terms of online business. So I came across like a YouTube video. Shout out Ty Lopez.
Webinars, bro. Webinars is where you got you.
Yeah, dude. Because you just be watching shit. Next thing you know, you want to know how to make money online. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Dude, like I feel like that's so many people. But yeah, I took I saw an online webinar and came across like Ty Lopez's channel, and it's like, how to start SMMA business in like 2020. Right? And like this is relatively late to SMMA. SMMA started in like 2018, I want to say. Like where it started to really pick up some wind. So yeah, I like it was like July of 2020 and I was like really debating. I was like, man, should I buy this course? Like
Ty Lopez?
Yeah, because it was like $1,000 and at the time it's a fuck ton of money, dude. It's like that's how much I make in the whole like month, right? Yeah. That's how much I made like working part-time or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then it's always like, well, how do I make more money? And I was like, well, let's just try it, right? So I spent the grand, started taking the course, and it's like, I was like, yo, this is awesome, right? Yeah. It's always, it's easier said than done, right? So I remember at this time, it was just like, this was now like when I studied the course for like 3 months, which shouldn't have taken me 3 months, but
For 3 months, bro.
yeah, dude, because I was like,
how long?
It's not even long, dude. It wasn't a long course because I was just dicking around.
Okay.
And this is a recurring theme for quite some time. It's just dicking around. Because I think at this time, I had a girlfriend at the time. This is kind of a recurring theme within like my story, right? Chicks. Yeah. Chicks just kind of take away from my energy and my focus, right? So during that time, so basically like, I'm really excited at this job, right? I have this job that I'm like, oh, I can move up here and I can, make more money.
Right.
So like I'm really like intensely focused here, like giving a lot of my energy in terms of like, oh, staying extra hours, whatever, just doing all this bitch work. And then I have this side business because this was where the main focus was. And then learning the business on the side was kind of something that I did.
Mm-hmm.
So another 3 months kind of go by, right? And so I was working at the food court for the first 3 months. And that's why I was like, I'm still in food service and this sucks. And I want to learn how to make more money because like it's not a lot. I think I was making like, I want to say part-time, like maybe $1,500 a month, right? In a whole month.
It's insane.
Yeah, $1,500 in a month, dude. This still blows my mind, right? Like that wasn't that long ago.
No, it's not long ago.
Yeah.
No, how much you're making right now?
I mean, I just wrapped up at 11K, which isn't a lot. It's an okay month, but cash collected, contract is probably closer to 19.
19.
Which is okay.
If you compare that, there's like, I don't know, like last year or something.
Yeah, dude. Like that's the thing, dude. So there's that 3 month period that went by. And so that's when I started the course. So my business originally I opened it as an LLC because this is basically the only thing I learned from the Ty Lopez course. That's how to open an LLC, right?
Yeah.
So I opened the LLC in October of like 2020, right? So that was another. So I bought the course in July. 3 months later, I opened this the agency, right, as an LLC.
Okay.
And so at that time, I went from the food court to like working in the produce section, right? So I also was making progress at at Costco. So I was like, like crushing it. And then here's where I hit like a flat line for the longest time. So with the agency, basically what I learned how to do with getting clients was go out, door knock, whatever, right? And here's the crazy thing. I'll door knock on basically any fucking business I could see. Oh, Highway 99 in Washington. You guys won't know this, but like there's this huge highway huge highway strip that goes through multiple cities in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
And me and my buddy would just hop in the car, just door knock, cold call. Like we would just like, there's like multiple days on the weekend. Every day that we didn't have working at Costco, on the weekends, 2 times a week, we would go and just knock on doors, be like, hey, do you need marketing services? Literally just like, yo, is the owner here? Like, do you guys need marketing? Like some random shit, dude. Just literally walking up to these businesses and just saying that. So yeah, this is when I opened up my agency in October of 2020.
Yeah.
And so like I want to say, I did that for like a month or two, right? Every weekend. So like this is eight weeks worth of every single weekend, 2 days of just filling up my car, just driving to this is pre-COVID. No, post-COVID.
Post-COVID?
I think like this is right when it just first got started.
Okay.
I believe so. And so.
Did you sign anyone like that?
No. So here's how my first client went down. Right. So this is just random shit. Right. Going down Highway 99, going to any single freaking business I could like possibly get my hands on.
Right.
That's family owned. Right. I don't know. Well, obviously I can't go fucking sell like a Walmart or some shit, But so any family owned business on 99, I would just go and be like, hey, do you need marketing, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did that for like a month or two, right? And I was getting no results because I had like 2 serious meetings. It was with the guy that owns billiards, that there's like a pool table, like a bar. I was like, yo, like we can help you with this. And then I forgot what we tried to like pitch him. It was like, it is like $1 to 2 grand a month or some shit like that. And for him, he was like, what the fuck? Like, why would I pay for that? Like, obviously, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know anything about selling. I didn't know anything about, structuring a package, whatever. Right. Same with,
that was the same thing for me when I started my first client. I didn't know I was even an agency. It was like, I signed in, but I was doing per hour every time I do a work, I clock in.
Really?
What is this?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Basically, that feeling like a job, right?
It was a job. Like, it's not supposed to feel that way. And it's not a job. You have a talent. Like, I didn't know how to, the same thing. I didn't know how to structure it. Didn't know how to package it.
Yeah, in the beginning, dude, it's just like, you're just doing it. You're just like freestyling it, you know? You just have no fucking idea what you're doing, bro.
Right.
Well, but that's kind of where you have to start, right? And I like putting myself back in those shoes, like shit, like I didn't know anything. I didn't know left from right, right?
Yeah.
Still don't, right?
Yeah.
But like I feel like that helped build a lot of character because like, you know, it's just rejection after rejection after rejection.
Yeah.
And like, dude, this was why, like, this was a big part of my story. And I feel like this is why I feel like I won't quit. Because like I went through 2 years of not seeing like results for a long time. Right. So it was at the end of the year, I was like, okay, I'm done. So October until like December, I was like, okay, this isn't working. So I need to find a different approach, right? So I just kept doing more research online, and I came across this guy in a Facebook group, and he was commenting in Ty's Facebook group about how this course is kind of like doesn't teach you enough, blah blah blah. It's not niche down enough, etc., right? And so his name's Tay, and so he was teaching about like how to land car dealership clients, right? And I was like, okay, cool. And this is how it started.
Okay.
And I was like, I love cars, you know, like I freaking love cars. So like, why wouldn't I do this, right? So I was like, piqued my interest. I bought his course. It was like $50 or something. And it was actually pretty good.
Okay.
In terms of how to approach a dealership and pitch them on a service and how to position it so that it's actually viable, or like they would actually allow you to do the work, right? And so like the way that the offer was structured at the time was, so you don't pay anything up front. You only pay once you sell cars, which is the only way that they would make money. You only pay once, you only have to cover the ad spend up front, right? So pretty good deal, right? It's like, it's an implied guarantee, right? So pretty easy to sell. So now we took the door-to-door thing and we're just like, all right, cool. We're just going to go knock on every single dealership that we can get our hands on. So I'm telling you.
Why not go to online this time?
See, I didn't know this. I seriously didn't know this. Like, this is what they taught me in the courses. Just to go to all the local dealerships, right? And this is how, you'll see why this connects later, right? So I did that. So all the dealerships on 99, bro, for like, I want to say 20, 30, like 50-mile radius from like Tacoma all the way up until like Marysville.
No way.
I've gone to like every single dealership, bro.
That's
like, shit
crazy.
you not. So 50-mile radius, and then there's probably like a couple hundred dealers, right? And we just walked into plenty of them and was just like, okay, cool, I'm pitching the service. And we landed our first client, I want to say in like February.
Nice.
And it wasn't even fucking paid. It was $300 for ad spend, right? And so this course, the Tay's course taught me a little bit about how to run the ads. So then I ran the ads for them, didn't get shit. Like I got like 28 leads and then none of them converted. Because obviously I didn't know you had to work leads. You had to call them, get them into the dealership, schedule appointments, whatever, right? I didn't know anything about lead gen. So I was just like, yeah, we had 28. Did anyone come in and buy? And they're like, no. I was like, oh crap. Okay, so we kept repeating this process and getting more clients for a long time. And then I was like, dude, we're still not getting results. So I tried a white labeler for a while. I was like trying to find somebody that ran ads for car dealerships in the past. Work with them. So, okay, so the first time I signed 2 clients on my own, try to run the ads, didn't work, right? So I was like, okay, let me go and try and find a white labeler.
All right.
Find a white labeler, right? Has solid results, whatever. And I signed 3 more dealerships up.
Right.
Same model, right? And I'm like, fuck yeah, finally, somebody that knows how to run ads and they can actually sell cars. Signed 3 dealerships up. And at the time, I think that's a lot of clients. I'm like, because this is door to door again, right? So
for door to door, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so like that was in a span of like a month or 2. We actually got like 3 clients that were like willing to pay for ad spend or whatever. And this is still on the weekends, right? So I'm not going full force at this, right? It's still kind of on the edge. And at the time, I'm trying to get this supervisor promotion, right? So while that's going on, there's a lot of time and energy still being focused at the dealership and the girlfriend. So like here's a lot of focus being like split up. And here's why I didn't see results for a long time. If anyone who's watching and it's not getting results, it's because you're not focusing on the thing that you want to be focusing on, right? Because if I was focusing on that, fuck, would have made a lot faster progress. And I know you've just experienced that as well, right? Where it's just like focus is just like bam. Yeah, one thing. So like at the time, girlfriend, trying to get promoted at my job, trying to, grow this agency, which is okay. Like I was doing okay at like everything, having an okay relationship, having an okay like time at my job, having an okay time with my agency, right? I'm gaining clients and I'm gaining traction. Right? And so it was okay with me. I wasn't feeling like I'm not making good progress because I was like, this is pretty cool, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously I had a social life and friends too. So like, you know, I'd go party on the weekends and do some dumb
If you
shit.
break it down, if you notices, there's so many factors and facets that comes into your life.
Yeah.
Like you don't realize this all takes your energy. So if it takes it out, then the other one you have to sacrifice some time for that one.
Yeah, it depends on what your priority is, right? And I didn't realize, because at the time I was just living life, like still going, you know, just basically finished school. Like I didn't have much direction. Like, you know, I think that's something that a lot of, you know, young men struggle with. It's just like a lack of direction and what to do with their life, right? That's something that I definitely experienced myself, right?
Yeah.
And I just so happened to be lucky that this path kind of continued to push on forward. And I just didn't quit at it, right?
So what was the transition from like you kind of starting to build some momentum? Because now you're still trying to figure it out. When did you start like realizing, oh, I'm actually not doing this right. I gotta.
Yeah. So the white labeler didn't end up working out, right? And I was like, okay, cool. Let me just try and take it into my own hands. So I signed 5 clients at that point, right? And then I went and took another online course. See, here's the repeating cycle. It's like you know, you find something that doesn't work, you just keep trying to find what works, right?
Yeah.
I buy this course from this guy. His name's Alex. He's actually a big, you know, agency owner, and he's in the car dealership niche, and he's teaching other people how to build an agency.
Mm-hmm.
And so I learned how to run Facebook ads for the first time, right? And so this is the first time. So after I went through that course, I was like, okay, I know how to run Facebook ads this time. So I signed another 3 clients, right? And I specifically remember them, right? Yeah, because it's such an easy sale, right? Like, and this is why I thought I was good at sales. It's just a no-brainer offer. That was basically what I had.
Yeah.
And so I signed another 3 clients on because I was like, all right, cool. I'm ready to go crush it. Mm-hmm. So I signed these 3 clients, and this is the beginning of 2021.
Okay.
Right? Because we just finished October of 2020 is when I started. And now it's the beginning of 2021. I'm like, you know, I went through that where I signed some clients. It didn't really work out. So now for the next 3 months from January until March was when I signed these 3 clients. And so from these 3 clients, I started running the ads and what I learned. And they saw some results. They're getting leads. But 2 of them just flatlined. Just didn't get like any noticeable results, right?
Okay.
And so with the 3rd client, this was like, I shit my pants when this happened.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And so we signed this client, and I think it was April, or I can't remember the specific date. It was like, yeah, it was like March or April of 2021. I got my first check. It was $750, and I still clearly remember this.
Yeah.
She just ripping out, like my client just ripping out the check and handing it to me. I was like,
okay.
Dude, I've always had that feeling though, right? Like, even when I thought I signed my first client, I was just like, that's such a high that you can't that's when it's like you're feeling like you're starting to escape, you know, like you're starting to do some shit. You're like, holy shit, I just got paid for something that I've learned myself, right? Which is so weird. It was such an interesting concept, and I'm sure you had the same experience, right? Like where you got paid for the first time. You're like, for something I know? Like, it's crazy shit.
I was so scared at like, I remember I was doing photography, right? That's where I started the whole thing. Like, I love taking pictures. Like, I've had camera in my hand since everything.
Right.
It was like, I was so scared to even just charge for $50.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, just $50 for a photo shoot, or just like a video.
Yeah.
And I would put in all my effort there. It's like, I was so scared to charge for like $50. Like,
yeah. But when you got paid, I bet it was like, holy shit,
goodness,
right?
I got paid for taking pictures.
Yeah, isn't that's such a crazy feeling? Like, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, but it's not a job. It wasn't a job. That was the beautiful part. Yeah. Like, and I'm sure other people have like a lot of freelance experience where like, you know, they've like always had like, you know, these off jobs where they just got oddball pays or whatever. I've never had that. Yeah. So like my first time getting paid for something I knew, that was amazing. And that was after months of just like eating shit, dude. Yeah. Eating shit for months. No results, no nothing. And I was just, I tried so many different things, dude. Like cold emails, cold calls. Like, I think I might be blurring out a lot of the effort that went into this, right? To get the first client, but I went through a lot of shit.
So how long did it take for you to make money from what you were doing?
say like, so if I started in July of 2020, started my business. Yeah, it's probably took me like 6 months, 7 to 8 months. Fuck, dude. But like, that's a lot. That's quite some time, bro.
Yeah.
You know?
That's quite some time.
Yeah.
And then
compared to other people.
Yeah, compared to our 100%. How about like, I kind of want to transition what you're doing right now, because it's completely different from what you were doing before, right?
Oh, 100%. So I got done with that. I lost that one client, right? That was paying me $750. I was like, fuck. So then I was basically on like ground zero again, right? So this is where I meet Trey.
Oh, nice.
So this is where I meet Trey. Yeah. So this is the reason why I came across Trey was like, I've been following him for like years, right? Like it was like Iman, Bastion, and Trey. Like those are the three guys I really followed back in the day in my agency days, right?
Yeah.
And so basically hit ground zero again. And this is April, right? Because I got paid in March. They only stayed on for a month, right? So I was just like, man, this is horrific. How do I keep getting more clients? Because this isn't sustainable. And at this point, like I said, 50-mile radius of all the dealerships.
You can't do that.
I just can't do that anymore. I'd have to drive all the way down to Tacoma to start, like, and it was just fucked, right? Yeah. It's just like, man, how can I make this work?
Yeah.
So
were you just not aware of the online?
No, I just don't know why. Like that was
crazy, man.
It just didn't cross my mind. Like
yeah, that's crazy.
Because the courses they teach you traditional shit, like make cold calls. I literally fucking handed out flyers, bro.
Okay, I think that was kind of my advantage. Cause I started e-commerce because I knew you had to, you can make money online. Like so, I didn't have to go through like the door knocking experience.
That's so interesting to me, dude.
I think Jeremy didn't either. Like
yeah, Jeremy definitely did. I don't even think Wahab had to do it. I think maybe I don't know why I had to go through it. But the thing with Jeremy is that he took Ty Lopez's course too.
Like he was taking courses for like 4 years and never done anything with it. Like that was we talked about on our podcast. It was like he was just like taking courses, learning the concept, but never applying it.
Yeah, so funny.
But for you, I feel like once you take the course, you're applying it right.
Oh yeah, because it's just like cool. I get excited about learning new stuff. You know, it's just like, how do I make that work now? But so I met Trey, and here's why. Again, like the third factor around here is a lot of females. So like I had a lot of my time and attention just going away towards like girls, friends, and like yeah. So it's just like it wasn't ever building like the way that it really should be. And I had this job that made me feel comfortable, right? Yeah. Because I got that supervisor position. It was during this time because like I was always like there's like a steady come up on like the agency and becoming a supervisor because I got like a training, right? And so to become a supervisor at Costco, you have to go through like this training period where it's like I think like 2 to 3 months, something like that, where you get to prove yourself if you're like worthy. Fuck, still pisses me off. Feeling like you're worthy of this stupid job. So I was on the come up, right? So like when I was signing these agency clients, I also got that promotion at Costco. So that was also a big dub for me at the time, right? but let me get back to the point of me meeting Trey. Yeah. So I was like, okay, I lost all my clients. I had 9 clients throughout my whole career, past whatever, how many months, right? Yeah. I'm like, fuck.
How much did you make in total?
$750 probably. That's it? Yeah, I spent more than I fucking made for a long time on courses and shit. Long time. See, I just never really thought about it like that though, because like I was still making money at the job.
And then, yeah, I think that was your kryptonite, that job.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude. I mean, this is why things started to turn up, bro. So I met Trey, and I joined CB. Yeah. CB back then was like way different, right? Oh, 100%. 110%. It was April of 2021. It's very different at the time.
How many people were there? I'm just interested.
I want to say half of what's there now, dude. You know, like
I think less than that because I want to join. There's like a couple.
Yeah, it was on a dude. I joined around when Jeremy Pogue joined. I think I joined a little bit before. Like me, Wahab, and Jeremy Jeremy Degg and Jeremy Pogue. We all joined around the same time.
Okay. Yeah, I was like later. Like
a little bit later, like
2 months.
3 months maybe later. Yeah, because you joined in what?
Like October.
Yeah, dude, because I joined in April. So that's like 6-month difference.
Oh, okay.
See, but here's the thing, bro. Here's the fucking funny part. So I joined CB and I started learning these online methods.
They made me think that I was gonna get kicked out.
Yeah.
After like 6 months,
Yeah.
I stopped work. It's like, fuck.
Yeah.
I stopped showing up in the Zoom calls.
Yeah, there's an aspect to that because I got scared too.
Yeah.
So in April, I got into the course, and at the time, the girlfriend that I had, me and that chick were going through some shit, and then like we broke up once and we got back together, and then like all my focus went back to that relationship because I wanted to keep her around, right? Mm-hmm. So the frame and the dynamic of that relationship really shifted. So I became a fucking simp, little bitch. Yeah. So like I was a simp for that chick for like a while, right? So like literally, I like first 3 months of CB just didn't do shit with it. Like just didn't learn, didn't implement anything. I tried like cold email. I tried a few things here and there, but I wasn't really taking it that seriously, right? The main focus shifted from work, the agency, to this chick, right? Mm-hmm. So that was no. That was my focus for a few months. Bro. No, seriously. And like whenever I focus on something, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna give it like some good attention and time. So like other stuff, like I didn't really give a shit. Like I when I didn't get the promotion for the SIT or to become a supervisor, I was like, fuck this. I don't want this shit. I was pissed off. I was like, so then here's the reason why I went all in with the agency is because like nobody's ever gonna tell me if I'm worth however much, right? Like I had such a chip on my shoulder after that. I was like, fuck you guys. Like seriously, I was so mad. Like it was a character forming moment where it was just like, man, seriously, somebody's telling me how much I'm worth right now. Ridiculous, right? And I was like, never again. Like I'm not gonna allow somebody else to tell me what I'm worth. Yeah. So then that's when I went all in with the agency. That was at the beginning of 2021. We were jumping around the timeline a lot, but
it was fine because eventually, too, can I get into like your mindset and stuff like that?
Yeah. So from April until like July and August, we broke up again, and so like there's like. That month was a blur, bro, and like a lot of time and attention went to her. I was just like catering towards her, and we broke up again. I was a fucking wreck. Right? And so in July and August, I didn't even remember what I did during that time. I was honestly like, if I'm not a depressed person, but like that time period was probably like I actually felt depressed. Like it was kind of sad, where I was just like, I don't feel like waking up. I don't feel like going to work. So I was just like. So I kind of got out that spunk after I talked to her and we figured out that like we're not getting back together. Okay. Right?
What's your user relationships now then? Like are you
what I want out of the next relationship is something that's serious and that respects my time, because I've grown a lot since then. So second breakup happens and I'm like, okay, that was a lot, and I'm like went through that whole season of just being sad. And then like after that, I was like, all right, I'm done with everything. Like it's over. Like I'm done with my job. I'm done with this chick. Screw it all, right? And I was just like, threw it into the fire, sacrificed it, and I was just like, okay, I'm quitting this job. I'm doing that now, right? I'm moving on past this stupid chick, right? Right? And so I'm like, all I have left is this agency. And at the time, the agency was at like $1,500 a month, right? Which was enough to kind of fill the part-time, because that's how much I was making. I was like, fuck it, quit. And I walked into that office because I still had that chip on my shoulder. I was like, fucking put in like 2 weeks, bitch. And I was like, yeah, I'm out this joint, right?
I think I remember the call
with Trey.
Recording.
Yeah.
I was watching that, bro.
That's what I was telling you. That's why like so much energy went towards that. That's why it made me feel comfortable. And after this, bro, there are like, honestly, like this is one of the most uncomfortable places in my lifetime I've ever been. Like, don't have the same chick, don't have my job, like I'm just, this is it. It's just a fucking agency, right? And so I think in September we start 75 Hard, right? And I was like, all right, I'm gonna get locked in, right? So
I'm surprised that it was actually just recent when you started hitting 10K months too.
It was literally just okay, I'm gonna take it seriously now. That was it. Okay. Seriously, that was it. Because
bro, I did not know this. Like, I thought you were like.
I'm telling you, because I dicked around. Recent. I dicked around for so long.
This is recent.
Yeah, I dicked around for a very long time, bro. Like, and here's the thing about the focus aspect. It was just, it was always, oh, I'm gonna go out on the weekends. Oh, I'm gonna go hang out with my chick. Oh, I'm gonna go spend money on this. Oh, I'm gonna go to work. I can't do it because of this. I was just making a fuck ton of excuses, bro. I was just too comfortable. I didn't want to change, right? Yeah. And so when I decided to make that change, end of August, going into September, start 75 hard, right? Shout out Jeremy Pogue, dude, still a GOAT. This made a big difference in my life. He's like, let's do 75 hard. I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it, right? Because I got nothing left, you know? Yeah. So I go hard with 75 hard, and it's just doing the work every single day. And I'll just be doing outreach, posting, you know, just it's just the daily shit, right? Okay. And that's where I learned a lot of like, oh, it's important to have structure. Because then in September, I didn't have, like, nothing really happened. It was just like consistent work. And I was like, I didn't feel anything, but I was like, yes, like the character changed. Like literally, like the difference between being this sad sack of shit, fat shit, after being dumped. Like I wasn't fat, but you know, I felt like a fatty. You know,
your fitness transformation was fire too.
Yeah, so I was just like, you know, I'm done with this, and I got serious and started working out. Started doing the daily work, and I just realized the importance of having a structure and focus on one thing. Yeah, I've always been like before that, my attention's, like I said, girls, you know, girls getting drunk, friends, doing drugs. Like, yeah, I was a typical, like, you know, 18, 19-year-old dude, you know, like I was a normal, regular, like I was such a low value, like, you know, just like very low vibrating individual. Yeah. And so, like, I learned that having structure, discipline, and I started building this character, right? Like, started building this character inside my mind. I remember when I started 75 hard, I cried because I was like, dude, you're such a piece of shit. Like, seriously. And I was so uncomfortable with myself. I was just like, this person right now just has nothing you want in life. He's a fucking loser. Like, I was that, like, that's how I felt about myself. I was just like, that pissed. I was that uncomfortable. So, deep change after that 75 hard. I finished that shit, and it was like from September until December, and that was when I was able to hit 10K months, which was revenue-wise, right? Yeah. So I was basically taking home half of that, which was 3 or 4 times my original income. So I was like, fuck yeah, it's nice. So I made that shift to go after this new niche, or not new niche, it's new audience within the same industry. Right. There's crossover, right? So I went from 10K, lost all the clients basically, kind of. Went back down to 0, almost. Had like 2K retainer, and then like my last retainer was $2,000 for December, and then I lost all the clients after that, right? Okay. So like in December, I had my first $1,000 client for coaching. Paid like $300, split over like 3 months. Okay. Horrific, but it was a win, right? And so it took me months. I think I went like 1-17 on my sales calls. 1-17. So fucking funny, dude. 1-17 on my sales calls, dude.
1-7. I don't know. I might more. 1-7.
I was bad at a lot of things, bro. Like, but it's just like pure grit. I was like, fuck it.
Sales calls now? Like, how are you? What's your closing right now?
I want to say my lifetime since the beginning of this year is like 33%.
That's good.
That's it's good. Decent. It was at 40%. Like in some months, it was at 40. I want to be at like 50. But like, it's okay.
Bro, 30% is honestly above average.
Nah, it's all right.
I want to ask is, I know you don't have any siblings, right?
I have an older sister.
Oh, you have an older sister?
Yeah. She moved out beginning of 2021.
Okay.
So.
But you all have a mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How was that, like, growing up? What was that like?
It was good. I mean, I think that's what formed a lot of the grit that I was talking about, like just being willing to eat a lot of shit, you know, because I just didn't get discouraged, man. And so like that's why after that time period, like finally got my first sale, and then like from beginning of this year until now, it's just been.
Yeah, it's consistent growth.
Yeah, it's just been consistent growth. Like what pisses me off is that the past 4 months have been stuck around like 10K. Like I've averaged 10K a month for the past 4 months. That's fucking ridiculous, right? That's stagnant as shit.
Yeah.
But I know what I need to do is just like
What are you doing now to scale it up?
raising my prices, making the program better. Well, that's what I need to do. It's like it needs to be worth it. And it is worth it. It's just like it has to be done and dialed, polished. It needs to be a program where I'm like, yeah, I would buy it for $3,000. That's a really good product. Like that's what I want to be thinking about. And that's where I'm at currently with my my program. Because like that's what I've spent like the past maybe like close to 2 weeks now, just working on the program.
Okay.
I always go, I like past 8 months have been this is my third cycle of just like, okay, I've signed people up, reiterate the product, sign people up, reiterate the product. And now it's the third version of it where I'm going to go back through, redo a lot of the things, make the content a lot better because it's so fucking scuffed. It's okay you can get away with like 1 to 2K, but like 3 to 5K, nah, it's like, make it better, dude.
Make it better. Yeah, I think it's always the, like put up something and then test it out and then see how it works.
Yeah, it's like that positive feedback loop, right? It's like sign clients, they get results, improve the program.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that. It's positive feedback loop, right?
Talk to me about that too, your self-image.
Yeah, dude. So a big thing that kind of changed for me was, like I said, when I went through that breakup and was going through that 75 hard.
Was
like,
it like one of the biggest things?
Oh yeah, 100%. There's a few big catalysts that I believe you'll experience in life and that like will change a person, right? It's either a breakup, some kind of like tough experience. And here's the thing that kind of ties back to, I guess, like, you know, growing up. And I told you that like money's always been like a motivator for me. Like I don't really care what I do as long as I'm making money. And it's always because it stems from like having a poor background, right? Like my mom and my dad are like immigrants from Vietnam and they came over here when they were like 16, 17, got married when they're like really young, dude. Like 20, like my age, right? They got married around my age and then they had my sister when they're 23, right?
Really?
Yeah, so, you know, I don't blame them. Like a lot of parents who immigrate don't have a lot of knowledge about like, you know, self-awareness, like these like things like, or like being able to navigate or communicate well, right? So they got divorced when I was really young. Mm-hmm. My mom had me when she was 27. I was 4 when they got divorced. And so after that, my life was pretty good. You know, we were like middle class and then we went down to being like very poor. Like my mom it was a very stressful period of time, like very, very stressful for my mom during that time period, just because, you know, she's single, she's a single lady, she speaks okay English. And like, she got laid off from her job. So like, there's a lot of shit going on. She has to take care of 2 babies. Right. And so just seeing that growing up was really hard for me. Like, I didn't know what was going on at the time. Right. Cause you're 4. Mm-hmm. And, but like, as I was growing up, you know, when we were 4, we moved into like this really small, tiny apartment in Linwood. Mm-hmm. In this tiny apartment, we lived there for 3 years, and I wouldn't say it was like probably the worst place we lived. Okay, like by other standards, yeah, sure, in third world countries, it's better, but it was by, you know, American standards, it's terrible. Like,
I mean, that's the thing too. Like, for me, I see it, it's like trauma is trauma. Like,
yeah, I wouldn't call it as trauma. It was very character defining moments though. You know, like it definitely makes me who I am just because I honestly look back at those and with fond memories because like it just like shows me, okay, this is where I was at. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, a few things I specifically remember, like my mom never let me really feel like nothing was going wrong. She, like, I know now, yeah, that's really fucking stressful to go through, being a single parent, not making enough money, and you go home and the house is flooded, right? She had to deal with that by herself. Because nobody else is going to take care of it. There's no man to take care of her, right? And then, you know, we had, one time we had a bunch of ants that like burrowed into the house. She took care of that, right? And, you know, one time we had a rat in there, right? It was just like bad. It was just a bad quality of living. So like those were very defining for me growing up, and just seeing my mom have to go through that. It's just like, it's just like I don't want to see her go through that again. Like that's pretty bad. Like that's rock bottom.
That is pretty bad.
Yeah, like that was a rock bottom like time in my mom's life. And here's where I get that from is like she just kept going, bro. Like she talks to me about this, and she's just like she's always so upbeat about it, and this is why I respect her so much. She's such
a just laughing about it, like
she's seriously such a high value woman because she just took those time periods and was just like, I just kept going, TJ. Like I didn't see any other option. Like, okay, that was a problem, but we fixed it. I just kept going. And that's where I feel like I've gotten a lot of that tenacity and a lot of that grit from. It's like my mom had that in her where she would just make anything work. It's possible. And as a single mother, she moved us into a townhouse that she bought herself, right? She bought a house. And, growing up, it wasn't a lot of room, right? So it's still poor. It's not a lot, right? Like, but for a single woman, I respect so much. Like she could have left us, she could have done so many other things, but she decided to pour her heart and soul into her kids, right?
Right.
So that's why for me, that's developed to become such a powerful why is because like I respect her so much, and it's like somebody sacrificed her whole life for me,
for you,
and like that means a lot, like that, like there's nothing else you could ask for as a kid, right? And I think in many ways I'm blessed with that, right? Always supportive and always wants to see me succeed, and no matter what I do, right? So at the townhouse that we're at, another thing that helped continue to develop my character and just be thankful and just know that I'm fucking hungry is because I slept on the living room floor until I was 20.
Really?
Until basically, because me and my sister shared a room for like, until we were like,
oh, okay.
I want to say until I was like 12 for like 4 years. And then, I had to move into the living room because there's no other place for me to go. And I slept down there until I was 12 until 20. So 8 years. I didn't have a room. Just slept on the fucking living room floor.
The floor?
Well, yeah, not on the floor, but like a mattress on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Right? And that was just my life.
Okay.
So that was a big other part of my experience in life, right? Like, and that's why I'm so fucking hungry. It's just like, well, if I can't get it, I'm gonna fucking get it. It's just like, and just seeing my mom go through a lot of shit growing up, just doing her best to put me into a better situation. That's my why. And it's been my why. It's always been my family. It's just like, they've always helped me out. Like I have nice things for being as poor as I am. Like my mom made like maybe 30, 40 grand a year, right? So the fact that she was able to buy me a car, put me through school, like made sure I always had food and clothes on my back, like that, what else could I be more thankful for, right? And so now like a lot of that experience has been like molded into like this character that I'm building because I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like that's why I know like when I look at some people, I'm just like, you don't have it. It's because like you're not as hungry as me. I'll eat you alive, right? It's just like, you had a nice life. You don't understand what it's like to struggle, right? And that's where I can tell a big difference from just people that I meet, It's just like, and I know you're somebody that has it, right? I think it's because like, that's something that I can gauge, right? It's because that helped me grow that experience a lot. So when you ask me about my why, it's because I was poor as shit. And, I see limitless potential in the upside. I'm so happy right now.
Yeah.
I'm still happy, like broke, I'm happy. And when I'm rich as fuck, I'm gonna be happy still. So like that, I think that's been a huge blessing for me. And so like now I don't need a lot of things to be happy. I'm gonna just give it all away. Because like, again, one of my biggest goals is to retire my mom, put myself into a nicer place, pay off my sister's debt, give my grandparents to be able to take a flight wherever, right?
Yeah,
it's just like those things.
That's a good why. I think that's the way you described it too, and the way like other people, like it's crazy because we just see other people. You're like, you don't have it. Like,
seriously,
I love that.
Seriously, because I'm not saying that.
Do you think though that's you can change that? Like, growing up, you can't really control your childhood, but what if someone, let's say, lives in a pretty good neighborhood, didn't really had any challenges growing up? Like, what do you think about that?
Yeah, see, that's where I don't think it disqualifies you. I don't think it necessarily. I don't think if you know, like, you don't have to struggle to be successful. I think your why is just going to stem from somewhere that's different. But like, it's just a different mindset because you've already experienced the nice things in life. So you know, it's just like if you have a genuine why, then I can respect it. But it's not a requirement by any means.
Kind of want your position on that is like you're gonna be financially free, but your kid's gonna.
Oh, he's gonna fucking struggle.
How do you imitate that?
He's not gonna get anything from me. Like, and I know this because I've thought about this. There's no way this fucker's gonna like. He might have like some residual like experiences from me, right? Because like my house will be nice, you know, I'll have nice cars, whatever, right? But when it comes to him growing up and finding his own living, dude, I'm not giving him shit.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to struggle. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll be like, dude, you have your own room. That's amazing. Like, I'd be shitting my pants if I was 12. And I was like, you get your own room? Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, that's my thoughts on like having kids. I think that it's an experience that I had in life that was pivotal in terms of forming who I am. So I think it's something that I want my kids to go through as well. Because I think you just don't appreciate it. That's like, if you're already rich, like getting rich isn't important to you. Like you're already that, you know? So,
already experienced it.
And the only reason why being rich is fun is because you can compare it to what you had before and it's a different experience in life, right?
What do you think about the saying, like money can't buy happiness?
I think that there is two facets to that statement, right? Like money can buy you a lot of things that can give you happiness, like security and peace of mind. And it's going to be a lot easier to be happy when you have those things than when you don't have that shit. So like, there's two aspects of it. I don't think you necessarily need to have money to be happy, but it sure does make being happy a lot easier when you have more, right?
No, exactly. I think, I don't know who I remember saying this, but it was something like, the biggest like successful propaganda rich people did was convincing to poor people that money can buy happiness. I was like, that's
good. That's good. I believe it, dude.
Like, yeah, it was just like, yeah, I mean, because for me too, like, now that you've kind of like experienced that, like that rock bottom, like having nothing, and then also like having like money in the bank now, it's kind of like just you have gratitude now on like what is it to not have it and what to have it too.
Yeah, and like to be honest, like still again, like I always want to humble myself, even when I get to the millions. Like there's always so much to learn, you know. And I don't think money's just the final thing. I think as a character, like me learning how to have respect, morals, and like a good vision, and like to have these things that a high value man is supposed to have, has been very important.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like that's been the side effect, and that's been the beautiful thing about entrepreneurship is just such a powerful self-development journey.
You really have to better yourself to get into entrepreneurship. That's really it.
100%, dude.
Like I didn't realize that, you know how like they say, oh, you need to have your life, your personal life and your business life. I feel like you need to have it both, like integrated.
Yeah. How you do one thing is how you do everything, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
And so with that belief, like I think that as you develop yourself, it reflects in your business, right? So that's the crazy thing, bro. Like I think there's some technical aspect to building a business and their soft skills, but like, bro, I think if you're a young man and you want to build a business, I think the biggest thing that you have to really focus on is developing your character. Nothing else. Because I was a dipshit. And the only thing that happened was, I learned some soft skills, sure, like sales and marketing, but my character, like even when I had bad soft skills, I was able to get to $10,000 a month.
Yeah.
Just by simply focusing and having a better character. That's it. Literally it, bro. Like a lot of people want to crack it up and make it very difficult. No, if you're just a high value individual, you're going to get paid what you're worth.
Right.
That's it. you know? So I think that's the most important thing to focus on. And it's really easy to get lost online where it's just like, oh, this is the next moneymaker. This is the next moneymaker. Yeah. Just focus on being a better person, a better individual, having higher skills, having a better vision, having better characteristics, better having discipline, right? And that will take you a lot further. Because if you put us into any business now, we're going to be successful at it, right? Like, that's what I think about. It's just like, well, now that I am obviously there's a lot of room to grow, but like now that we have these skills and these character traits, it's just like, plug us in anywhere, dude. I'll make the same amount right now, right?
Exactly. The thing on that too is like some companies were like, you see your experience, but you didn't go to college or something like that. What do you think about that?
I hate school. Like, I think
because the reason why I always ask this to people who's like on our age, is just because I also want to like get them an understanding on you can't have all things when you gotta choose your battles pretty much, right? And I want to get an understanding because a lot of our age is the transition is after high school. I want to think about what college should I go to next. Like,
yeah,
right?
I think if you haven't experienced the things that we've experienced in life, like this is my true honest belief about school. I think it's the biggest waste of money you could possibly spend your money on. I genuinely believe that. It's just like, unless you're trying to become a doctor or like an engineer or something along those lines, I just think it's just a waste of fucking money. Like, imagine you could take that $100,000 and put it towards anything else. You could buy a house, put it into crypto. Like, there's so many things you could use with that money rather than going to school. So like, yeah, I'd rather spend it on like my own education in terms of courses and whatever else.
Running Star, you got your associates.
Yeah, so like that's like I've already went to college. See, that's the thing. Like, this isn't off of like some BS experience. I already went to college. You know, like, it's not like I never went to college. No, I went there and figured out it was a bunch of bullshit. So I was just like, this is gonna be a waste of time. Why would I waste my time here? Especially pay for something that I didn't even know what I wanted to do anymore after I figured out I didn't want to be an engineer, bro. You know? Yeah. Okay, so I have this question that I've been kind of sitting on throughout the day because I've been thinking about it, and it's something that I've kind of dissected from like my brain. Yeah. And I don't know if you experienced this, and I'm curious to see if you do, how you handle it, because like it's something that I've been kind of like dealing with. So, do you ever feel like a feeling of like not inferiority, but like not feeling good enough at something, where like even though you did something, it's just like not good enough? Do you ever feel that?
A lot of times, man. Yeah. It's, and if you're asking me how do I handle it, I feel like you know my answer already. This is I journal about it and just accepting the fact that those feelings are fleeting. Like, they would come and go. Like, and to be honest, I'm still working on it. Like, also, it's like, is this I think it's constantly going to be there. Like, even if you look up like to people who are far ahead from us, they have their, it's like, am I good enough? Like,
yeah, I think that's so strange because I really tried to sit down and think about it. It's like the other day, because like I had something that happened with like a potential prospect. They went a different direction, and I was just like, fuck, like, made me feel inferior for like a little bit. Yeah, and I was just like, why am I thinking like that? And it's like, no matter how much results I've gotten, no matter how far I've gotten, there's still some aspect of me is like, you can do more. Because like I went to Costco the other day, and I was looking at. Part of me was like, damn, like, good job, you did some stuff since since the year you've been here, right? You moved the needle forward. Then I was just like, you could do so much fucking more, dude. Like, you should be a lot further along. And then there's a voice inside my head.
You have the higher self and the lower self, or we could call it like the one that's like really what's that called? Like your perfect, your successful self.
And the old self.
The old self. Yeah, your past and your future. Yeah, that's the way I see it. On how like, but the thing is, it's always I think it's never gonna disappear. It's accepting that two sides of you after a while.
Yeah, it's I've been trying to learn how to like deal with it in terms of just like, okay, like
Yeah.
I can accept that I've done. I can accept that as what I've done as fact, but there's always like I'm just trying to not be as negative and like allow that stress to kind of like get to me, where it's just like because there's stress inducing factor where
Do you
like
think it's like is it because you're not where you want to be yet? That's why you're feeling that way.
it's deep rooted, bro. Like honestly, because I was thinking a little bit more into this, and I had like this Sunday where I was journaling.
Yeah.
And I was picking my brain about like why do you ever feel like because like I looked at like how much I'm making and most people would be like, oh, that's pretty nice, right?
Yeah.
Like most people would be like, I want that.
Yeah.
Because I wanted it for a long time. Now that I have it, it's like still not enough.
Yeah.
And it's
like we're not like, because you're not making 10Ks and stuff. Where's your vision now?
I don't know. Like I want to make fuck you money. Like
Yeah.
It's so much money to the point where it's like not even. I don't know. Like it's just like everything that I ever could want is already done. Like that's where I want to get to. There's no specific number with that. I mean, I guess if I were to put like a number, it'd be like hundreds of millions, if not like hundreds of millions, like multiple 9 figures. You know.
When is it enough though? Like when do you think it kind of gets?
See, that's a good point, dude. Like, there's a point of like that's where I think like the insecurity comes from, bro. It's like I think me as somebody who's had like a divorced family, there's a sense of like abandonment, and I've realized this since I was like in high school, where like I deal with that emotion kind of toughly. Like it's like I have a sense of abandonment where it's like I'm not good enough, or like I'm not good enough for like people to want to be around me, and like shit like that, bro. That's what kind of gets me, and that's where I'm like, man, you're not good enough. You're not doing that. That's where it stems from, right? And it makes me, it's like an emotional topic, just because like,
100%.
Because like that's a deep rooted scar, bro. Because it's just like, man, I got left when I was a kid, when I was young, and like that always kind of sticks with you, bro.
It's hard to not compare yourself to the other people because sometimes I catch myself like, okay, now I'm trying to. This is what I've been journaling about recently. Is like eliminating like looking at what other people's doing, because when I catch myself doing that, I get in this feeling like, oh, you're worthless, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, bro, like I should compare myself from my yesterday. So that's what I've been doing recently.
That's awesome.
Just like you were much more better than the guy yesterday. So,
100%.
Like I think it's also I don't know if Andrew Tate. I've been seeing his videos and stuff like that pop off. And
the goat.
The goat. The thing about that guy is like I don't know. It's hard because he talks about like literally just being the man, like not worrying about the stress and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's good. I don't know how to feel about that though. Like, I should like as a man, should he even be like feeling emotional?
No, I think there's an aspect of like as a man you should have healthy ways to deal with your stress.
Yeah. Very
healthy ways. Like, a lot of people that deal with stress, like the first automatic response is, oh, I'm gonna go get drunk. I'm gonna go hang with my friends. Like that's what it was for me.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. We need healthy ways in order to deal with stress.
Yeah.
And I think it's good to talk about it. That's the thing. Like, I don't think it's wrong to talk about or feel these things.
Is it you showing your like more transparent side, a feminine way of doing it? I don't know, man.
I wouldn't say so, bro. Like that aspect, it's like, I think having emotions is a human aspect, and I think everyone needs to do it, right? Yeah. And like needs to express how they feel, or like just allow themselves to feel, because emotions are a human thing, and so you can't necessarily be like, it's just like everyone should be allowed to feel what they feel, right? So that's my thoughts on that.
Yeah.
And I think here's one of the ideas that I've been putting into perspective lately is I think if I were to put myself back into like my beginner shoes, I'd want to. I still think I'm a beginner, but like if I were to just put myself back couple years ago, I I would look more at the mistakes that I would be more critical in the mistakes and the successes that I have, and like look at them harder, you know? Because I feel like if I were to be more cognitive of those things, I would have learned a lot faster. And I think you can learn so much more, like so much in your mistakes and other people's mistakes. And I feel like that's a lot of things that people don't look at, are the mistakes that other people have made.
Right.
People always want to look at the success, and people always want to look at the, oh, what made them pop off? What was the one thing that they said? What was the one post they did? Like, it's just very singular rather than just looking at, oh, what are the huge mistakes that they've made, and how can I avoid that in the future as well? Because like I think that sometimes that opens up so many more like points of view, right? Because if you were to ask me the biggest 5 mistakes I've made, right, it's probably wasting my time, not being focused, not focusing on my character and the development, right? And these are very basic things. Like if I heard that, I'd be like, what the fuck? It's not the funnel you use. It's not how you prospect, whatever, right? I'm just like, oh shit, right? So those are the top 3. Oh, taking care of your body, your health. Oh, and like filtering out what you look at on a daily basis, right? Like, like what you listen to, what you watch on YouTube, you know, like all this shit, right? It's just like what you allow into your space, your friends. Like there's so many other things that like I wish I could have talked about.
You could see the type of person they are by just simply looking at their TikTok feed or their Instagram feed.
Literally.
You can see like what type of person they are. What
their home screen is, what their room looks like. And then that's where like it kind of comes back to that belief. How you do one thing is how you do everything.
Exactly.
So
what's your next steps right now? What are you working on?
Next step is scaling to the moon. No, I'm just playing. Well, it is. But next goal, as soon as I wanted to go into August knowing that I would hit $30,000, which I know I can't. Here's the crazy thing. I've been reading Psycho-Cybernetics, another big thing.
You started it again.
So good, bro. So good. But the next steps are finishing up the program, and as soon as I finish up the program, smash out a 30K month.
Okay.
30-day sprint. I know I can do it right now. It's just like the product just has to be good. It's just like, because I can go fucking sell it right now, no problem, right? But it's just like I know the back end delivery is not up to par. So it's just like once that's there, $3,000 is pretty easy. Because that's what I want to be pricing it at. And then I can move my way up to $5,000 once everything's said and done. There's some more tweaking and testing. Right. And then from there, probably hit 50K. Again, I want to hit 50K before the year ends. I think I can do...
in the month? 50K month?
Yeah, I think I could do 30K within the next 30 to 60 days. Easy.
Okay.
But then I'm looking past that.
This August, right? It's August.
Yeah, I want to say going into August, middle of August, like give me 2 weeks. Yeah. And then middle of August to middle of September, that's a 30K month.
Okay.
So I need to just get this freaking shit done, you know? Yeah. That's been holding me up. And this month I made decent money without even really trying. This is the funny shit, dude. Yeah. I didn't really even try this month. I had like 1 to 2 weeks where I took like, last 2 weeks I took like 2 sales calls and I closed like a 3K. Okay. It's like, okay, fair. But it's just like, man, now that you have the soft skills and whatnot, it's just like so fucking like, not saying it's easy. It's so simple. So simple. It's a lot more simpler than
it was. It's easier now that you've closed like multiple clients.
Yep.
Compared to when you were starting.
The start is just grinding and not giving up, bro. Like if you quit, you're a bitch. Like
if you don't quit, it's gonna work out.
That's the thing, bro. It's focus on your character and don't quit. Because I didn't know I'd be doing fucking car salesman shit. I don't even think I still kind of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of weird. You know, it's like super random. But all right.
So the niche is just like cars.
The niche is, there's a lot of money in it. Yeah. These guys make 6 figures. Mm-hmm. Most people that I talk to make close to 6 figures.
Yeah.
Like maybe 50 to 100. That's like the typical range. 50 to 100.
Yeah.
So like they have money.
Yeah, they have money.
So that's the only reason why I like really there. I almost want to like in a bigger picture, like I keep kind of part of my brain keeps going back to like having that lifestyle. Like I almost want to sell a lifestyle where it's just like, just kind of like how Iman's doing it, right? But like I want to do that with like coaching and consulting.
Really?
Yeah. Because it'd be so dope. Like, oh, you can travel anywhere. You can fucking ball out, get nice cars, buy nice houses. Like, so that's what attracted to me in the first place, you know, which is interesting. And that people get attracted to the flashy things and then they realize it's the deep work that needs to be done.
No, 100%, bro. I think for me, it was like just being tired. I knew for a fact when I was a kid, I'm not gonna work for anyone. Like that.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
filthy.
like,
That's filthy.
because I was just like bro. I don't know when I was a kid. I remember I was playing this game. Like it's a Facebook game, right? It's called Township.
Yeah.
You just build buildings and shit.
Uh-huh.
And then it's just like oh, I have this mindset. Oh, I want to build like a community as big, and then I'm like the mayor and stuff like that. And then the way I was like just growing up, like I just knew I did not want to like live like I guess I'm seeing people like they're just working.
It's normal life.
It's just so normal. Like, and then I always ask myself, like, I don't know. It's interesting too. Like, I don't know how I got these, right? Like, how do you get?
I think
like self consciousness and like self awareness.
I think, dude, like there's a part of me that believes in like your fate's written out, and to some extent, you know.
I believe that we're put into this world for a reason.
Yeah, I feel like I think everyone has a reason. Everyone has a reason. You just have to just start seeing why.
So that's why too. I struggle. I'm like, well, there's nothing really wrong for people to just have a normal life because maybe that's the reason why they're put in this world.
Yeah, and I think there's a big part of like being in tune of like your like higher power and like higher self. I believe in God, right? I believe in a God.
Mm-hmm.
There's not one specific religion that I fall underneath, but I believe that there's a higher power, and that like if you're in tune with that, it'll give you the reasons and the visions that you're supposed to have, like what you're supposed to do in this life, right? Again, like maybe some people are like that, you know, but like I think as individuals like us, we have a meaning that's supposed to be fulfilled in life, right? And like
you just have a purpose. Like
it comes naturally. I don't know why. Like that's why like your higher state of being, like it just taps into like.
I've never thought about just like I'm just gonna live, I just get a normal job.
Yeah.
I've never had the thought like I did not ever want never like I had a single moment where I was like it's
yeah, you just don't want to be a normal individual.
It's interesting because I'm like,
I mean, a lot of people do have that.
Yeah, they have like I just wanna a job that will sustain my lifestyle. Not too.
And we can't knock that, right? I can't knock it because I know people that are like that.
They genuinely love it. Like I have no problem with that. Like I have family members like that, and I respect them for that, and they have wisdoms too that they share. And I'm like,
I think we're tapped into like this higher purpose, higher frequency that we're just supposed to do. I don't know. Maybe we're just.
Down the line,
it's just our message.
That's why I'm like I'm so intrigued on. I wonder who my ancestors are. Like I've always wondered. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm connected to someone who was like
the goat
or something.
100%. See, that's what I think about sometimes too. It's like that's why we have that purpose, is because like we are innately like that person for our family. You know, or like for our bloodline or whatever.
Or maybe it's just also the environment that we grew up into. It's just like.
Yeah. See, here's one of the crazy things, bro. And I think this is a lot of things that if you're not an immigrant or you're not somebody that is from a third world country, they won't understand the upbringing that we had, you know?
Yeah.
And so they wouldn't have experienced the same struggles or seen the same things that we've seen or been through the same shit that we've seen. So they don't have the same perspective or the mindset that would help you want to do those things.
I'd always see it as like it was an advantage to be like in like lower class when you're starting out.
100%.
Like it's just, because you've experienced those struggles already.
Yeah.
That you're kind of like, well, I'm actually ahead of a lot of people because a lot of people live comfortable now. And then after they graduate college, they're just playing catch up.
Yeah. See, that's the other devil's advocate when I'm talking about like never feeling like enough. There's always a part that's like, but you did really good. You know, like there's a part of that where, and that's where I was like talking to my mom about this earlier. And this is where I don't think you can talk to this about females.
Yeah.
Because like she's like, oh well, then take a break when you're tired, or like and like rest. Like you need to do this and that. No, and then but like that's actually what I don't need to hear. It's like stop being a little bitch. Yeah. Like just start putting in more work. You know, like
I have had some advices was just like slow down. Like bro, for what?
Yeah, for what? Literally.
Yeah, me and Jeremy was talking about it. It's like Jeremy Dag in our podcast. So it's like, why would I slow down?
Yeah.
What's the point? I don't get it. And it's like, oh, like, yeah, this is where I don't get. I think there's this brainwashing that's happening now where if you, yeah, I understand. I'm enjoying my journey. Like, I'm present every single day on what I'm doing. I'm grateful for it. I have gratitude for it. And then the thing is, like, why would I slow down? Like, to do what? Like, what Jeremy was saying was, like, scroll through TikTok.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
for
Right.
what?
Right.
Like, I don't get it. It's, there's this thing where, oh, take your time, slow down. Like, I get it. Like, have some times where you enjoy your.
Smell the roses.
Yeah, exactly. But if you have a purpose and you know where you're going, like,
Yeah, you got to go full
Yeah, you gotta
full
go.
full speed. And I think that's another thing that I'm wanting is just more people that are like towards the same like
dude,
goal.
that's why I'm thinking like the proximity to like imagine.
Because if you're in, like if you're around a bunch of people making fucking mills all day,
Yeah.
you're gonna be like, fuck.
I
Like,
gotta make it.
yeah, I gotta make mills, bro. Like
I
you
think
just
that was one
rubbed
of
it
the
off.
reasons to why I signed my client just recently was because like I would always hop on a call with you guys. And
Oh, 100%.
And
No,
I think
100%.
it's
I think it is 100%, dude. Because you become who you hang out with.
yeah, no, exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
So like, the even the thoughts, the mannerisms, the
Yeah.
jokes, like they all amalgamate. I don't
Yeah.
even know if that's a fucking word, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
it just comes together, right?
Yeah.
It just makes up who you are.
Mhm.
And that's why, like, you got to be very conscious of who's in your circle. Number one, because
Yeah.
like if you hang out with fucking bums, you're gonna be another fucking bum.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it's interesting, man. And since actually I got a few more things before we wrap this up.
For
but,
sure.
Like we live in Everett.
Yeah.
What's the plan, man?
Dude, I'm gonna move out this bitch pretty fast, bro. Like my goal is by early by next year. Like I'm gonna have at least 100K set aside, and that's when I'm gonna start number one building a team, and I'm gonna move out. And I honestly am thinking maybe like this is super short term. Like these are just thoughts that I'm entertaining. Potentially just going to go travel for my birthday. Maybe check out like a different country.
Yeah.
And see like if I want to move like to a fucking different country, I could.
Man, no, I'm for sure moving to a different country.
Yeah, in the future. I honestly think that's something that I want to do. I might spend another season in like Kirkland or like somewhere that's more high end, Bellevue maybe for like a year.
Okay.
That's probably where I see this moving towards because next, like on my vision board, I'm gonna get either a Supra or this 340i Beamer. It's gonna be nice. Gonna get my first
You can
roll.
get it right now if you.
Oh, I could.
Really.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
It's just it just wouldn't be smart.
Yeah, it just would not. But what if you leverage that on your advertising?
I could, but it's like it will be. It's just right place, right time. Like
Yeah.
I'll have enough by the time I'm moving into this next place. Like once I'm making 30, 50 grand a month, like that's 1 month's like check. I'm gonna go buy it cash, right?
Yeah.
That's fucking dope. But
Would you buy a cash?
fuck yeah, dude. I want to own that car. Like every car that I
okay.
want to have, I want to own it because I'm gonna mod it,
Okay.
and I'm gonna have it because
Okay.
like I want to own the vehicle. You know,
Okay.
like that's just some boss shit. Where I'm just like,
Alright.
yeah, dude, that's my whip. It's my like everything's done. Everything that's done to it is mine. You know.
Okay.
So and then the apartment, I'm a little bit hesitant to it because like 25 grand in a year is not bad at all for the rent, but it's like
It compounds.
yeah, it's just like, well, I could have put that 25 grand down towards a house. Like, fuck, dude. Like, and then it's just like, but then, like, I don't want to be thinking about that because then it's just like, I'm be making so much fucking money where 25 grand is just like, oh, okay. Yeah, you know, like, that's where I want it to be at. Because if I'm making 100K in a month, dude, that's fucking.
I mean, it's more of like, what's your lifestyle like? Like, what do you want really?
What's the lifestyle that I want?
Yeah, like I think that's the question you can ask if you should buy a house. Because I know we talked about this was, should you buy a house or should you just get an apartment? It's like, what do you want? Do you want to settle down or do you want to?
Here's the hard part, dude. I want to spend my 20s traveling.
There you go.
Like-
Don't buy a house.
Okay, fair
Don't
enough.
buy a house.
Fair enough. Because, like, here's what I have in mind. Like, yeah, I want to have this business, but I kind of want to get to the point where it's just chilling because, like, I want to go experience the world. Like,
because here's the thing too. Like, once you go to a different country, maybe you like that country. I want to live here. And then you have a house here. You pay mortgage for it.
yeah,
And you're kind of like responsible for it.
yeah. See, I get that part.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
probably just getting a rent or apartment would be pretty nice then.
yeah.
Cause like I want to go to like Dubai, I want to go to like Bali, like I want to go to like all these different like areas in the world just to see what life is like.
Mm-hmm.
And then see, so I'm thinking probably go for another year sprint at this apartment, right? After I stacked some mad cash, I built this business up to a substantial amount.
Yeah.
Find a chick, go travel the world.
With a chick?
Yeah, it'd be kind of fucking badass because this bitch is gonna fall in love with me.
Okay.
She'd be like, man, this guy's the man, you know?
Okay.
Money, house, cars, like, has everything. And he's showing me the world. That's just badass, right? This is just something funny that I see in my mind. But I don't want to go travel by myself, right?
Really?
I mean, I do, but not the whole time.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to go to like 20 countries by myself. Shit, 10 of them can have a chick, right? Right? Because then, like, I can experience them solo for, like, you know, first 10, other 10. Because I want to settle down, bro.
Yeah.
At some point, I want to settle down with a chick.
Yeah.
And I want to have a baddie, you know? I don't know if they want, I want her to be somebody that works with me in terms of my business, like someone like Alex or Lila. I can respect that. I think it's fucking dope. Or do I want somebody that's just kind of like there to support me?
Yeah, that's the thing, too. I'm like, what type of girl do I want? Do I want the one who's going to work with me?
Yeah, like what's a high value woman to you, you know? What makes up a high value woman to you?
That's a hard question because I didn't realize.
My mom literally asked me this earlier and I was like, well, shit, I don't know.
It's a hard question because like I see my mom as a high value woman and she, you know, she's very organized. She's a house mom, housewife. But the thing is also like it'd be nice to work on something together.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm struggling on like sometimes I just want to go home and you know not just enjoy.
Have somebody take care of you.
Yeah, take care of me, like, and just you know like have your kids there and not worry about like. Or the thing too is like the thing is like connecting everything. Like, yes, having a. I don't know if you've seen this show called Peaky Blinders, like where they're like a family, they build like an empire together. This whole family, like.
Are they on YouTube?
Huh?
Are they on YouTube? Peaky Blinders?
No, it's a Netflix show.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, do I want to build the empire with my family, or do I want to just build my own and just provide with them? But I feel like I like the idea of building an empire with my family and going for generations. I don't know. I'm so intrigued with like knowing that down the line for hundreds of years, my last name is still gonna be.
Yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah, no, I can agree to that.
Like if you think about Musk, like Elon Musk, I don't know, like he just started, but like Bezos, like, it's gonna stay for a while. Like there's some big names that's just kind of like sticking in like
to history, like Rockefeller.
Yeah, Rockefeller. I don't know who else, but
yeah, there's some really rich people.
Yeah. Or just because I think it's
JP Morgan.
Oh yeah, JP Morgan. Like in Asian countries, bro, like you can see the businesses, all family businesses, and it's just gone through like generations of passed downs and stuff like that. But at the same time, too, I don't want to limit my family to just like
what you do.
You
right?
have to do business. Like
you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah, because I like coming from me, I had a family where like my parents are very supportive of what I do. Like whatever I do.
That's good, dude. And I feel like a lot of people don't have that.
Yeah, and then I was just like, well, I don't want to like just limit my kids to what I do. So it's interesting, but
yeah, but then part of me is like, dude, like I want this guy to be a badass entrepreneur. Like
I have a part.
Because then it's just like, what the fuck else are you gonna do? Fucking serve tables, which is bad. Just doesn't serve bad. You know, like what are you gonna do? Like.
I'm not letting my bloodline.
Yeah. You know, you're tainting that shit. You know, no, just fucking around.
It's funny. Yeah, man. It's just we'll see how.
Are you gonna have kids too, though?
Yeah, I'm gonna have kids.
Yeah, see, I agree with that. There's
100%.
My thoughts around that though is because like
I disagree with Alex or Moses.
Yeah, I can't, dude.
Yeah,
Because I feel like at some point I want to be a father. That's an experience I want to have in life. If I'm gonna live this life, I want to have all the fucking experiences.
Yeah, this is the thing that he talks about that. Like that was just their decision.
Yeah.
Just didn't want to
have a kid.
Yeah. So
I think for me though, dude, it's like, man, my dad fucked it up so bad. It's like I need to have I need to have a chance to be like a good dad. You know, like that's for me like a personal thing. It's just like I want to have such a good
coaching?
Fuck yeah. No, see, dude, I believe in like having somebody to help design your marriage.
Yeah.
You know, see, like I want to like those are all skills, and I don't think people think about it like that.
I'm surprised not a lot of people take like a coaching or like a course or a mentorship on this.
Yeah, because like there's aspects that make up a good relationship. There's aspects that make up a good father, mother, and a good family.
Yeah.
There's elements to it, like if you were to study somebody that had the elements of a really good family and a relationship that you want, then learn that. Like that, there's a big difference. It's just like learning how to communicate. Communication is a huge skill between your whole family, right? You should know how to communicate with your kids. Maintain frame, because some kids are fucking dipshits, right? Like those are all things that people don't think about.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why they have such a shitty family. And then it's just like, well, no shit. You have poor communication. You guys have no morals at home. You guys don't listen to each other. You guys don't talk about your feelings. Like, of course you guys are going to have a shitty family.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's why, bro, I think that's one of my low-key, my advantages, because my mom's side, the family structure is really good.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to have a family too, is because I'm very family-oriented.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'm religious. Like, I'm a Christian. So, like, I've grown up and just making sure that you kind of, like, have that structure. And I don't know. It's just, like, even though, let's say, if I disconnect everything, right? And then it's just my personal opinion. Like, as I thought about this, too, like, is it ingrained in me that I have to have this? Or, I always ask that in anything, right? Mm-hmm. Is this ingrained on me by other people? Or was it because I truly want this to happen? So, it was always that question. Like, I would have family, no doubt.
Yeah, like without any outside perspective or like influence on it. Yeah, right. It's just like your own personal opinion that has unbiased. Yeah, and it makes sense, dude. Because like that's what's like. I personally feel like I've missed out on it. That's why I want to have it. It's like I want to have such a good family. I want to have so many fucking kids. Whereas just like all of them are like dabbing each other up, just fucking shit up. We're like they're just mobbing on it, right? Yeah. Like that's what I want. That's what I want a family for. Yeah. Because like my family is pretty separated. Like we're pretty tight, like in a way where like we talk, but we don't really know each other.
Yeah, I guess what you mean.
Yeah, I'm sure like some families are like that. So that's why when I can see other Asian families, I feel like this is really common in Asian and Mexican households. Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, they're really freaking close. Yeah, I think maybe it's a Western thing.
Man, I literally have back in Philippines. We literally have a compound.
That's sick. You do?
Yeah, and my uncle, I have so two of my mom's sister.
Yeah.
The two families is just one compound, bro. They live in the same house.
That's fucking dope. See, like I want something like that, bro. Imagine having this big ass plot of land.
It's not that big. Like it's pretty big. I would say like
for Philippines, right? Yeah, for sure.
Here it's like no, it's not that big. But
but if you're surrounded by family, you're just like
so fire, man.
Dude, another aspect. Okay, do you want like what do you want your house to have? Because like I want to have like jet skis, boats, like a fuck ton of like cars, dude. Like that's kind of what I see.
So we'll talk about it at the after the podcast. But I kind of want to wrap this thing up.
Yeah, for sure, dude. This thing has been super long.
It's fine. Last question is, who do you want to be remembered for? Like, let's say TJ. Nguyen.
First word that comes to mind is a savage.
Savage.
Yeah, just like an absolute animal. Like anything he does is just like he does it really good, puts his heart into it. He's a fucking savage. Like that's it. Like that's the only word that you can describe me as. And that's how I like to kind of conduct myself too, is just because like I don't know. I'm not super like uptight. I'm just like like that's the energy that I have. It's just like
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. So I remember first time we met, you were like, you were like, woo!
Yeah.
I remember that. That was like what I remember when we first met.
Yeah. Just high energy, bro.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
You just want to be a savage.
Yep. Some good shit, bro. Appreciate the pod. This is
where can they find you?
Follow me at _ TJ NGUYEN on Instagram. Find me at TJ Nguyen on YouTube and on Facebook.
Okay.
So those are all the platforms I'm most active on.
The social is going to be in the description, so you guys can check it out. But yeah, appreciate you coming through.
Yeah. Banger pod, eh?
Yeah.
Good shit.